Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Andrew from Team Blacktop YGO, and today I'm bringing you my September 2020 banlist predictions. Konami has listed on their websites that the next TCG banlist will come no sooner than September 1st, 2020, and it's just right around the corner, so I think I'm going to talk about it today. Now, of course, as you know, we haven't had any events this whole summer, ever since about the end of March, early April, because of the pandemic going on. Konami has decided to enforce social distancing, so that means no in-person events for the time being. However, that being said, there have been many unofficial online events, both tournaments and just casual play, and several best decks have emerged. Konami also held, I believe, one or two official remote duel invitationals where several of the best players from different regions and some content creators from those regions came together and had a little tournament. One of them was just last weekend, and the deck that won that was Dinosaurs, piloted by Sam from Team Samurai. So the best decks right now, though, due to the statistics from those events, are obviously Adamanticators and Eldritch, and as we can see online, these two decks have been dominating ever since they were released in Secret Slayers in late March, early April. These decks are really good. Adamantipator is a super good combo deck, and Eldritch is very versatile in what it can do. You can play control, you can play combo, you can play it with the Zexal lock, you can play it with basically anything. You can play it with Invoked, Dogmatica. There's all sorts of variants of Eldritch. It's basically like the New Age Sky Striker, except different, of course. We also have some other really good decks right now. Like I said, Sam from Team Samurai won the Remote Duel Invitational with Dinosaurs. They just got a support card in the last core set, or I'm sorry, 2 core sets ago, the one before Rise of the Duelist, with Anabadorned Archosaur. We also have Dragon Link and Infernoble Knights. Now, Dragon Link has been around for a long time. Really, it started out with the sort of Danger Thunder Guard Dragon, actually even before that with the Blue Eyes Guard Dragon, and it's manifested its way into different variants ever since then. We had like the Rocket Guard Dragon or Rocket Link, and then we had with like the Starly Safer and the Jerdikuni Romulus, all that sort of thing. And now they play that Smoke Grenade Eclipse spell card, which can shuffle a card from the opponent's hand back into the deck, or send it to the graveyard. One of those two. I'm not exactly sure, but it's seen very many variations and variants of it, and it's been around for a while. Infernoble Knight is fairly new. It's kind of like, it's a combo deck, but it's not as good per se as Adamantipator. And Dinosaurs, well, they've been around ever since their structure deck was released. They haven't really been hit on the ban list except for Miscellaneousaurus. So yeah, they're still around, weirdly enough. So basically, what do I think is going to happen on this next ban list? Well, because we haven't had very many in-person events, I think this ban list is going to be like that one in June, where we had a bunch of unlimits and no hits. So I think most likely we're going to see Tour Guide and Widow Anchor both go to 3. Right now they are semi-limited, but I think most likely that they're going to be free to go on the ban list. I don't think either of these cards are game-breaking or meta-breaking or anything like that. I mean, of course, they're both really good in their respective decks, but I don't think there's any problem letting these go, and I think most likely that's what's going to happen there. I mean, that's kind of been the trend, you know, getting those semi-limited cards off the list. Destiny Hero Malicious is the only other semi-limited card, and I don't think it's going to move because there are some problems with it at 3 and there are some problems with it at 1. So 2 is probably where it's going to stay for a little bit, but who knows. I also think what is somewhat likely to happen, almost most likely, is that ABC Dragon Buster and Totally Awesome are either going to go back to 3 or at the very least to semi-limited. These cards were kind of unjustly punished for Master Rule 5 sins, whatever that means. These didn't deserve to be on the ban list at all. They're just not, like, they're really powerful cards, but they're not deserving of any sort of limitation on them. They're both really good in their respective decks, and I think that they need to be off the list, and I think Konami sees that, and that's what's going to happen to these two cards. That much makes sense to me, at least. What's possible is that the two decks from Secret Slayers, Adamanticators, and Eldritch, they might have some direct or indirect hits on the list. Now, there aren't really too many direct or indirect hits you can give to Eldritch because they're basically an engine. I mean, really, if you're going to hit them, you're going to have to hit them directly. So maybe like Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, or maybe even the Golden Lord himself, one of those may get hit on the list. Also, for Adamanticators, we may see a Block Dragon hit or a Researcher hit. Both of those are some of the best cards in the deck, Block Dragon by itself, people have been complaining about that card for a while and just what it can do in any rock-based strategy. It's super good. We're actually seeing it a little bit in the Megalith strategy right now. It does a little bit of a combo with the ritual monsters, so we may see a Block Dragon hit. Personally, I think it's decently likely, but I would say because we haven't had very many in-person events and because, well, Adamant Invaders haven't had their chance to shine just yet, I don't think we'll see a hit to that. If there is, I don't think Block Dragon or Researcher will be banned or anything. I think it's limited at the most, but we'll have to see what happens there. What else is possible is that we may see some hits to the other best decks right now, or to some of the other pieces that these best decks are playing. So like Buster Dragon Destruction Sword, or Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, pardon me. This card is kind of oppressive. It just got a reprint, so that may make it a little bit less likely to be hit because it's got the rarity upgrade reprint. But I don't know. Konami could hit this, and it would make a lot of people happy. Plus, I don't know how many decks will be playing this whenever the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon card comes out, because many people, instead of making Union Carrier, will instead opt to go for Predaplant Verte Anaconda and do that whole line of comboing there. So we'll have to see what happens to Destruction Sword, but it could get banned. Also, Guard Dragon LP. Dragon Link deck has been around forever. They haven't had too many hits. I mean, yeah, Eclipse Wyvern got hit, Guard Dragon and Garpain got hit, but the deck is still very prolific. It does still have a viable FDK, I'm pretty sure, although hardly anybody plays it. So yeah, I definitely could see LP or another piece of the combo, or another piece of the deck getting hit. Perhaps Romulus. I doubt Romulus though, but maybe some other consistency cards, who knows. Quick Launch is actually a really good card because it special summons a rocket monster from the deck, and Rocket Tracer by itself is super powerful, as are any of the level 4 or lower dragon monsters, because any of them can make Striker Dragons, so we'll just have to see where that goes. They may hit the Smoke Grenade Equip spell, but I don't know. Konami really isn't good about hitting those like crazy cards very quickly, but we'll just have to see where it goes. And also, dinosaurs may get hit with like a Fossil Dig hit or a Solding Oviraptor hit. The deck has been around for a long, long time. And true, the structure deck that they originally came out in, all the recent stuff like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and Solding Oviraptor, that structure deck did get re-waived, I believe, a little while ago, so they may still be trying to sell some of those, but the deck is super good in the right hands, of course, like with Sam from Team Samurai topping the Remote Duel Invitational. And if you think about it, these cards from the Dinosaur deck are very busted. Fossil Dig is a super good search card. I mean, arguably better than Reinforcements of the Army, which is currently limited. Solitating Oviraptor also is really good. It's either a Rhoda or a Foolish Burial on summon, and it has a Monster Reborn-like effect, coupled with things like Animadorned Archosaur and Lost World and their big boss monster, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which is super, super powerful. I think the deck probably deserves a hit, but I don't know if Konami will do that. The reason I have it in the possible section is because Konami's eye may be on it due to the fact that it topped the recent Remote Duel Invitational, but I don't know how Konami judges those things, so we'll have to see where it goes. Unlikely. These are cards that may possibly get hit, but I doubt it. Hauka 5-Rax and Linkross, people have been complaining about these cards ever since they came out. Linkross, I believe it's too soon to hit Linkross. It just came out in Eternity Code, which was 2 core sets ago. And Hauka 5-Rax, although it came out earlier this year, around the end of March, early April, the card hasn't seen very much competitive play because there have been no events. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's probably not going to get hit right now either. And then the other card on the screen, Alistair the Invoker. This card, although the Invoked Engine has been around for a while, it hasn't had any hits to it ever, even though it's been a very prolific engine ever since it was introduced, seeing the play in the likes of Sky Strikers, and Invoked Hand Trap, and Invoked Wind Witch, and Invoked Eldritch, and Invoked Dogmatica now. The reason I don't think it's going to get hit now is, like I said, because of that Invoked Dogmatica deck. They need a reason to sell the Dogmatica cards, and although the Dogmatica cards work very well as an engine in a lot of decks, the Invoked version seems to be the best version of them, and so I don't think they're going to hit Invoked quite yet. Although I will say that the Invoked core, whether it's Magical Meltdown or Alistair, will be hit in some capacity in the future, much like Hauka 5-Rax and Linkross. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you agree with my picks or my thoughts on cards that could be hit or that are unlikely to be hit, well, that's great. And if you could, voice that opinion down below, whether you agree or dissent. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear some reasoning about that. I do think I gave some pretty decent reasons for all the cards mentioned in this video, but if you think I did something wrong, or if you have another good point that I didn't mention, please feel free to put that down below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.